section, we're having a special guest by the name Ifeanyi Benedict. So his section for today is going to be taking us comparing two tables in Excel. So I'll also read a little bit about his profile. Ifeanyi Benedict is a data analyst and trainer with UrBizEdge, a company dedicated to helping high-level professionals become top in their business data analytics skills. Ifeanyi Benedict is skilled in Power BI, Microsoft Excel 2012, and Python. His passion lies in helping people get the most of their data. He's also into community building. Ifeanyi Benedict is also into some community building in activity. He is an Hamoye ML externship. For example, he has trained over 700 people. Ifeanyi Benedict is a technical writer and also a content creator. He has worked with Hamoye, Geeksforgeeks, and Externship SQL. He has expressed complex idea and communication with clarifying precision and efficiency. So Ifeanyi Benedict also dropped his URL, his LinkedIn profile, and his Twitter handle. So I'll be handing this session over to Ifeanyi Benedict. So Ifeanyi. Hello, Ifeanyi?
Yes, hello. Hello.
Yeah, so I'll stop sharing my screen now.
Okay.
So I'll stop sharing my screen.
Okay. Today we're doing a relatively simple topic. So we're looking at comparing two Excel sheets. So we're using different fundamentals. We'll first start with conditional formatting. Then we'll go over to VLOOKUP, and then we'll do equal. Okay. So first of all, I'll start with conditional formatting. So I guess everybody's familiar with conditional formatting. So, hello. Is everybody familiar with conditional formatting?
Yes. Not everyone, but some.
So I'll start with conditional formatting. So let's assume this is our data set. So this is our data set. We have different sales team members and the regions in which they are in charge of. And this is our sales team ID. So let's assume there are maybe if two managers have the same. Apparently there are two sheets, and one of the sheets is slightly, we want to know if it's slightly different from another. So let's assume maybe the west here was northeast, middle west here was also south, and here was west. We want to compare this sheet, the original, with this sheet which was given to us by the second person. So what we're going to do, first of all, we're going to select our data set. Then we'll go to conditional formatting. Then we'll go to more rules. Then this one will come to now. So yeah, yes, Zaxos. We're going to use a formula to determine which cells to format. So this one we put in our formula. So the formula we write here will equals to this sheet. Then we would use the sign, which means if this sheet is not equals to, then we'll select the same position in the other cell. We'll click on our format to give it a color or a styling, so it will stand out to show us where the difference is. Go to field and we'll pick maybe a different color. Let's pick purple for now and press OK. OK. Conditional formatting. Tell me which shows of field equals to. Pick this. It's not equals to. Okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't put in the color for the sheet.
I've been there. Just continue.
Okay. So we'll go to the second sheet. Supposed to. Yes.
Ifeanyi, remove the absolute reference from it. When you select all, when you are doing the formula, remove the absolute reference. First select all.
Okay, so you can't color, pick the color ones. Press okay. Okay. So now it shows us when there's a difference between two sheets in this particular color. Hello. Sorry, I don't know if everybody got that.
Yeah, we had. Remember, if you go back to that one, it will interrupt the flow. But yes, I think. Any questions from anyone in the house about the parts you've done? We'll be monitoring for you the chat box anyway, so that you don't have to be switching.
Okay. Okay, so that's how to use conditional formatting to check if there's a difference between sheet 1 and sheet 2. We can also use a VLOOKUP, and then we'll look at how to use a Iheagwara. So for the VLOOKUP, so we have this data set, and we want to check if there's a difference maybe in this column. So I'll duplicate this data set, and then I'll duplicate this data sheet, and then I'll make some changes, and then we use a VLOOKUP. But before then, let's take a VLOOKUP like any basics. So as you all know, the VLOOKUP is we use a VLOOKUP. So let me duplicate the sheet. Then let me make some changes to it. Create a copy. So let's say this is the original, and this is sheet 2. Okay. So let me get a bunch of random numbers and impute them. Okay. Okay, so this we're going to do our VLOOKUP. Compare the two sheets. So as we know, a VLOOKUP is so we use an equals to VLOOKUP, and then you pick up the lookup, what you want to look up for. So in this data set, the ID columns are going to be unique, since every institution will have their own ID column. So this, then we use the comma, then I'll want to get to the table. So we'll go to this our new and we select this table. Then the column in this, want to compare this last column. So we count for this, which will be column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Use an 8. And they want to want an exact match of it. So now is equals to so using the VLOOKUP, it shows us now the values of each of these data sets. But we don't want to see the values. We just want to know if there's a difference or want to be able to tell the difference. So in this VLOOKUP, we can incorporate an if formula into the VLOOKUP. So we'll come back to our formula bar and use an if statement. So yeah, it will be if the value in this one is equals to the value we got from the VLOOKUP. And then we can, if that is true, if it was the same thing, we probably want to give it, like you say, tell us that it's a match. And if there's no match, just tell us no match. And then I don't know, we can tell when there's a match and there's no match. But as you can see, this looks a bit busy. So instead of maybe a match and there's no match, we could leave this to be a space rather. And now we can tell that the values from this area is slightly different from the values in this other one using the VLOOKUP. Hello.
Yeah, we are following. Though you need to carry us a lot more along. So, like maybe, like give more explanations. But yes, we are following.
Okay. So should I start from the basics of the VLOOKUP, or what part wasn't exactly clear?
Maybe I should just ask. Yeah. Anybody else? Why you getting?
I think Asha was saying something.
Okay.
I was just saying you should repeat the if writing the if formula that you did with the VLOOKUP.
So I didn't get what you said.
Okay, I was saying that you should repeat what you did.
Okay, why I did the if formula with the VLOOKUP? What you understood the VLOOKUP?
Yes.
Okay, so okay, let me just. So first, let me do this again. We're looking up this. Looking up our index from this table. And we're looking at this last column, which column is want to force. So basically what I was saying in the if statement was, so we use an if statement. So we want to compare if the values in the original data set is the same thing as the value in this other data set. So the VLOOKUP showed us, the VLOOKUP basically gave us the value that's in the second data sheet. If we drag it down here, you can see like this is 3 and this is 1.5. So using the VLOOKUP, using an if, So basically use a logical statement. Like if the value in this original data set is equals to, or we can also do is not equals to, is equals to, if they're both equals to, then want you to tell us something. And then I mentioned you could use a match. However, if it's not equals to, it should tell us no match. Close out it was percent. And this tells us like, so this is the same thing in both sheets. However, this tells us no match. And again, this could get a bit busy because now we have to probably look. So you could use the conditional statement to maybe highlight those that where it's showing a match, I wasn't showing a match. Or you could maybe just change, instead of it telling you there's a match, you should just leave it as a space. So this only shows when there's no match instead. And you can also put a conditional statement on top of it. So was that clear?
Yeah.
I think you'll really, really enjoy it.
Okay.
So it's even besides using a conditional statement, you can also decide to also put a conditional statement. And maybe when it's not match, just you should give us a color, since that will be way more readable than showing match and no match, match and no match. Then another formula we could have used would have been is now. So in formula, instead of wrapping it up in an if, we could also wrap it in an is now formula in the is now function. So if the value is false, it should usually give us. It should give us. If it's false, it should tell us true or false. That would have been a function we would have used instead of using an if statement. Okay. Then beside that, we could also use. I mentioned you could also use an Iheagwara. So the query is more of an add-in in Excel, which basically shows us to look at the two data sheets and to tell us if it shows the difference between the both data sheets. Exactly. So this data sheet that I did now, this is the second copy. Let me make a copy of it. So this is now. Okay. Okay, so does everybody have the Iheagwara in the Excel sheet?
You can show them how to enable if they don't know how to, in case they don't have it, where they will go to enable it.
Okay, so to get the Iheagwara, you go to File. You can go to Account or Options, and then you go to Add-ins. Then you pick Becomes Add-ins, and then you checklist this. And once you checklist this, it's where you also see some other add-ins that are available on Excel. So you checklist this and you just press OK, and you have it. So basically, what the Iheagwara add-in does is look at your two workbook and you guys compare the files. So you could use this for reconciliation, you could use it for maybe auditing, and so many other stuff. So once you have gotten this, you go to compare files. And once you compare book one, it was the second copy which I moved in here. Once compare it with this Excel sheet, we can also swap the files if you're comparing this with this and not this with this. And you just click on the copy. Takes a minute. Okay, sorry. Want some of this.
Okay, but before you go ahead with this, can you explain what you did before now, so at least people will be a bit clear? I think you tried to create a different copy, right?
Yes, just a different copy of the sheet. Okay, so initially when I did Iheagwara, it was comparing. Let me close back up to.
So we don't lose them, so they will even know what's.
Okay, so initially when I did the Iheagwara, it was comparing this first sheet with this sheet. Okay, so it was comparing this sheet with that sheet. So I needed to put the data set which I want to compare here in a whole different, move it to a different, totally different, like in its own workbook. So I came to, you just right click here, go to move and copy. And I want to move this. So I come to new workbook. So I want to move it to a totally new workbook. If you want to make a copy, checklist this. And I press OK. Well, so I just want to move it. Press OK. So now we have this. If I'm using this, let me call this maybe. Then this workbook, I make this. Is the second copy. So what you do is you go to Iheagwara, you go to compare files, you click on compare files. And now I'm comparing book one. Book one is this sheet which has the second copy with book three, which has our original file. So instead I'll come in and click on book three. So if I'm comparing book one with book three, if I want to compare book three instead with book one, I could just click on the swap and I press compare. So it asks me if I want to save the changes before comparing, which yes, I want to save the changes. And listen to it book three, yes. And then it does its work. And now it compares the second copy here with the original file there. And it shows us, gives us an analysis of what took place and when or where there was changes made. So there was structural changes made where self-formatting changes. Yes, because you see there are changes. This is what differs from this in both worksheets. And then we'll export our results to export it to a different Excel sheet. Let's call this. And this a detailed analysis of everything that differs in both sheets. In terms of font size. Yeah, this was where entered. Yeah, the formatting was changed. Basically, just was everything that was changed in between the both sheets. Okay, so Abiola has a message.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to ask the question I wanted to ask. Yeah, I realized that this inquiry, though
Yes.
you taught us how to add it from file to account, then I missed there. But my major question is, can it be used to reconcile debit and credit? Because this is comparing two sheets now, two different sheets. Can it compare two different columns, like debit and credit, so that you can just see the, I'm just looking at it, possibility of it being used for reconciliation. And you have
Yeah.
a large numbers of informations,
Yeah,
volume information.
if you have a large number of information, you can use the query, but you wouldn't be able to use the conditional statement in the query. If you try to use this conditional statement like I did now in this worksheet, it's just not be able to, because this data set is really large. So even we are trying to compare maybe just two columns. So maybe a best bet would be to use the query than use the VLOOKUP, or to use you guys say VLOOKUP, or to use the query, since it depends on if it's just two columns you're just trying to compare. Hello.
Thank you.
But did you get what? So I'm guessing what Mr. Abiola was also asking is, so look like what you did now on the, if you go to the table, the example you used for the VLOOKUP.
Yes.
Okay, good. So imagine that. Okay, good. So maybe that this was showing match, no match. Can inquire show something like that? So assuming maybe this was debit transactions, the other one is now credit transactions, the other sheet, but which is very similar to what you did here in terms of is this matching, is this there, are the values matching? Can inquire also be used to do something like that to let you see which are not matching, which are matching in terms of the value?
No, but it actually shows you when you look here, you can tell that these are the values that were changed. Like it highlights the parts. So maybe it doesn't really tell you match or no match, but it shows in terms of use a color. You can see this green in this worksheet, the original worksheet here, and the stocking copy. So these are the values that from here that are not matching. And if you also look here, you can also tell, you see a detail of the regions and the region.
Oh, okay. Mr. Biola, what do you think? Can this be applicable to what you
want to do?
No, what I have in mind is where you have large volume of data and you have debit and credit. You just want to see those on that match and those on that don't match. Just bring
so just one line. So just two columns, basically.
And the debit and credit are on the same file.
Yes.
Table. Right
Yeah.
side.
On the same sheet.
Oh yes, you got. Okay, if you want to use the VLOOKUP to do that.
VLOOKUP will work.
Yeah, guys, the VLOOKUP to do that.
I don't know. I think I mean, minus formula will just do this minus that.
Yeah.
Just drag it down, and maybe when we now do an if of it, if this is not equal to 0.
Then if please, if I use an if to do that too. Sorry.
If.
So you can also use a simple non-costal formula to do that. Then since it's must look a bit busy, you can wrap it up with an if for is now.
You might have to increase the font size of your PC or use the zoom, our zoom app. It's really not easy seeing.
Okay, let me. Okay, so I moved this sheet. the regions from this one and I moved it here. So let's assume there are numbers. So there are numbers, and not just assume this was the credits and the debit. So I want to check the similarities or what exactly is different in these two columns since they're on the same sheet. So I just do an equals to this, and then I can use this sign. So this sign is basically means not equals to, and I click on the second column. I press enter. It shows us, as you can see, true, false, true, false, true, false. Well, this could also look a bit very busy and very unreadable. So I could wrap it up with this now. What I want. Okay. You could also wrap it up with, you could also use the conditional statement again. And the test contains. Should have shared it. So now we can easily tell when there are differences in these two columns. And this is exactly what you wanted. Hello.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
I was saying maybe what if you write in the one that was region, you write debit, then the one that is column 1, you write credit, and then we use numbers, maybe you use rand between to.
Okay, so to get generation random numbers.
Yeah,
Okay.
then for some we will now let the values be different. No. Okay. So I'm guessing for Mr. Abiola now, are you including the sign, or there will not be sign there, like there won't be minus in any of the values?
No, there's no need for minus.
Okay.
It's just the absolute value.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So let's move this. So I want to compare these two tables now. So this I want to compare them. Those equals to if this calculate, just drag it. Then as I mentioned, if I should wrap it up, it's conditional statement to easily tell us if and if it's not. So this is exactly answer what you want.
Okay, so anybody has any questions at this period? Is there a question about any of the approaches? No, I think it's more about some of them focus more on comparing tables. Then the Inquire one was actual complete sheet comparison. But any questions from anyone?
But even copy the
Yes,
entire
please.
table.
Can we have access to the
use
practice files?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
But
Just to ask, Are you guys able to see the chat box? Can you see chat box from your own end?
No, I can't see the chat box actually.
That's something. How are we going to bring this across to you? Ifeanyi is like you see the chat box, right?
Yeah, I can see the chat box.
That's something. We moved the platform to a Microsoft dedicated webinar platform. So all kinds of things are happening that we are just trying to get to focus. Is it like that for everybody? Is anybody else seeing the chat box? If you can see the chat box, can you maybe unmute and indicate? Or even maybe just raise your hand. Maybe that will help us. Or should I invite it? If you can see the chat box, can you raise your hand? So on one of my devices, I can see the chat box. So I'm raising my hand. I think Ifeanyi can. So it's not uniform. Samson's hand is up, so he can see the chat box. So what can be the difference why some of us see it and some of us do not?
I don't know. Can they also send messages as well?
Okay, can you try typing in the chat box? Maybe type hi or so anything. Let's see how many of us can. While I go and see.
I think the issue is that if you log in with guest, then you won't be able to see, which is my current. If you log in as guest,
yeah. So if we log in as guest, you won't see that one. Something. And the other one. Okay, just bear with us today while we find what it is that might be we can do on our own side to make everything show for everyone. But for the chat, for the what's it now? For the file itself, if I send me the file so I can, I will think of a way to give it and get it across to them. That would be easy.
Okay. But you can also put under the YouTube link. Doesn't really work.
Under the YouTube when it's been uploaded.
Oh, okay. That will put it under the YouTube link, right?
Yeah, part of the description.
Yeah, that's a very fast solution. Okay, we'll put it under the YouTube solution link. So,
but if you compare tables, you could easily use a conditional statement to compare tables. Like the one we did because why I selected this one in a conditional statement. If you look at the formula, what's this? I can basically cannot this. This is a file. That is fine. Yeah, like it's basically comparing every changes that is done on the sheet with the other sheet from the very first cell of it to the very last cell where I selected everything. So to compare tables, you could use the conditional formatting. The only limitation is that once the table is as big as something like here or something like this, it's as big as this, you can't use the conditional statement. It just, if I try to use conditional statement on this table, just wouldn't work. So you could just use an inquiry and to actually spot out any differences in this table. Like you can say this table is as big as 390 rows. So you could just use this and to show you every single place, highlighting it green and not green. And if there's any formula changes, or formula error, or structure names, self-formatting, protection, calculated values, and everything. So for big data, you can use this, but use a very minute data, you can just use the conditional statement. Maybe just to compare two you could just easily use an equals to and not equals to formula. So that's real.
So any other question? Hello, house. So any questions so far?
One feedback, Ifeanyi, I think you should always be loading your sessions. Because this one too, it looks like by 30 minutes we were done.
So Benny, I have a question to ask you. So Benedict.
Yes, I know.
Okay, can you go back to the one you used your if, that VLOOKUP of if? No, not this one.
Yeah, that's this.
Okay, this one now. Okay, click on the formula. So sorry, which two tables were you comparing with each other? That's what I don't know. Which two tables were you comparing with each other?
I was comparing the original here with this table.
Click on that. Okay.
This. And I just change some values in column 8 of myself.
Okay.
But if I change values within everything, like I said, this VLOOKUP compares this column with this, so that's why I get just a better choice.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Okay, so any other question? Anyone?
So I wanted to ask, on this particular sheet, is it only that last column that's different?
Yes, on this particular sheet, so that last column that's different.
Everything is the same.
Yeah, everything is the same. We could quickly do one and use Iheagwara to change some other stuff. So you actually see the difference.
Okay, no, I was asking because I wanted to find out if maybe you can do it for a data sheet that has changes in three or four columns. Maybe the institutional type change, maybe the zip code change, and other things change. If it's something you can do for 4 columns.
Yeah, well, to do for 4 columns, we have to move to this one. Let's do that. Okay, so we want to change.
Okay.
So this original. So let's change this. Okay, so let's go here.
I can also see Lillian's hand up.
Okay. Yes.
Maybe later when you are done, I'm sure maybe
it's
she has.
Okay, so again, I'll move it to a different sheet. Also move the original again to a totally different sheet. This one, I want to compare this. So I come to.
So what are the changes you made so that they will even know before we do compare?
Okay, so the changes I made, I made some very random changes. Like here was here. You can see this alphabetical order. So here I changed here to Alaska. Here was also supposed to be something else. I also changed here to the same value as above. I also changed this zip code to be 930. I see everything is in text, but here's a number. Then I also made a change, in this column. Okay. I can also make another change right now. So let's go here. Let's see here. Let's person in picture university. So now go to Iheagwara. But compare files. I'm comparing book 4. Is book 4.
And you've saved them, right? Or it doesn't matter if you want to save or not?
Before I click the compare, it's also save it, but when I'm doing the compare, it gives me this where I should save the changes, and I'll press say yes, something like. Yeah, you can send the changes out and we need switches. So these are the part that are different from this part. You can see there's 12 years of what you're showing something else. Yeah, the same thing. So because you that differences in multiple columns, you could just use an acquire because each of them have the limitation. The conditional formatting can use for smaller data. The VLOOKUP limitation is for that you can use it for one column at a time, except you want to do multiple VLOOKUPs. But the acquire is basically compares both files together. So if you want to compare an entire data sheet, you could just use this.
Excuse me, sorry.
So linear answers up.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Lillian has a question.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. So I just bumped into the meeting on Meetup, and everything seems kind of foreign. I think I had registered for that meeting very long ago, a time ago, but this is the first time I'm actually attending it. And I would say I'm kind of lost, so I don't know if there is kind of like a beginner class. I know you guys have gone ahead, this is like an advanced training. I don't know if there is a pointer for how to go about beginner's class or something.
I don't know. Michael, shall I come in?
Yes.
Okay. Linear, thank you very much. So this is actually we're doing comparison, but actually your business as a company we offer training also for data analysis and Excel. So can I share my screen?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So tell me, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see screen.
Okay. So Linear. Hello?
Hello. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So your business as a company, we're also a data company. We also deal mainly with training. That's Excel training, Power BI, and financial modeling. So these are some upcoming training which we're having. This financial modeling, that's financial statement for non-financial manager, which is coming up on the 16th to 18th of August. Also have another one called Big Data Analysis, Power Query, Power Pivot, and VBA in Excel, which is coming up also on the 3rd to 4th of September. And on the 3rd to 4th of September also have in-depth Excel training, executive dashboard, and business data analysis. So basically what I'm trying to say that if you don't really have a strong foundation in Excel, you can also come for this training that also help you build your Excel career.
Okay.
Okay, so that's
really big name. They look like really big names. But I'm
not
looking
really.
for like the basic, because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
seeing big data analysis, query, and
For you now, you're gonna start with in-depth Excel training, executive dashboard, and business data analysis. That's what someone like you will start with, since you don't really have the much experience using Excel itself.
okay.
Okay, so I think that was what I'm going to show, because if you don't really know, so for everyone in the house, your business is actually a training company. We do more of Excel training, Power BI, and financial modeling. So I also want this platform to explain that we'll have some upcoming training coming up very soon. We'll have the financial statement and non-financial management training coming up soon. We'll have the big data analysis, Power Query, Power Pivot, and VBA in Excel. We also have in-depth Excel training, executive dashboard, and business data analysis.
Okay.
So I think
You're a training organization.
yeah, yes.
Oh,
But what we do, the webinar is actually for free. So you come for the webinar to learn new things for free.
okay, I understand. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
okay, I'm listening.
okay, so you do the training, physical training.
Yeah, we have physical training.
Where is it located?
You can
Do you
see the address.
discuss that? Do you discuss
Okay,
location?
after can we just maybe I don't know, Michael.
Yeah, hello.
Hello. Should this be done after the webinar itself or?
Yes. So
Okay.
she can go on our website to grab the phone number, or if she
Okay.
can access the chat box.
Leader, can you access this? Can you access the chat box?
No, I noticed some people were saying that, and I checked
Okay.
myself, and I noticed the same for me too.
Okay. Let me just give me. Let me just open the website. So
Okay,
just go to.
it just goes to
You can see my screen, right?
that will
Yes.
get it done.
So you just go to UrBizEdge.com. That's all. UrBizEdge. That's UrBizEdge.com. UrBizEdge.com. That's all.
Okay. So maybe at this stage too, I have an announcement for the general house. I wish everybody was already, like a lot more people are in the meeting today, but nonetheless we will do it. So I don't know if some of you noticed, today is a different platform we are using. So let me quickly share. If you look at my screen, so this is the platform we are using going forward for the Power BI and the Excel. So there is a platform by Microsoft. It's supposed to be both ways in terms of benefits. Benefits that are there are that for you, there are some things that you benefit directly from Microsoft. Benefit also not just directly from Microsoft. You have access to other things that other people are doing in globally, not just even Nigeria, not just Excel, not just Power BI. Maybe you are someone interested in machine learning, in Dynamics, in some other Microsoft solutions and products. You'll be able to access those things because all you will just do is if you there's a place called join that if you just go there, it will show you all the possible things you two can be part of. But then the main announcement is that I found out that why some of us are not having access to the chat area is two things. Exactly what Aisha mentioned, that you joined as a guest, and not just that, many of us are not on this. We've not been able to link you up to this. So what will happen is we will send out the email communication that will help you to get access to this. So before, this used to come with license, like Microsoft $40 per month license that they will give it to you for free. But I think they said people are misusing it. So I don't know, they are changing that bit, so I can't promise you that license anymore. Before, I was able to promise people that if you join these, you will get Microsoft E5 plan. E5 plan is a Microsoft plan that let me show you what an E5 plan has. Some companies don't even have it for their staff because it's a very expensive plan. Most companies just do E3 plan. So before now, those that are joined, because we announced this last year, those that are joined, they got this license where they're able to access the high-end version of everything, inclusive of, as you can see, all of what you're looking at, even Teams, which is the main thing that the license is hooked up to, but Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent, all the other tools that if you try to use in Microsoft, even Power BI, you get the premium, Power BI Pro, that you will never need to buy or worry about somebody buying it for you. But like I said, they are changing it. I think they said some people are misusing it, so they are removing or tweaking that one. So what I want you to be aware of is there will be an email that I will send with the step-by-step of what you will do. So I will send you that email. For you to get that email, you should be on this platform. So that's the only tricky thing. Those of you who have been using us before now, who have been joining our sessions before now, you will know this platform. But for those who maybe are new completely, that's where the tricky part is. I'll post it in the chat box but then some of you say you do not have access to the chat box, so that's again another complication. But just go to Meetup, search for, let's see what will happen if I go to Meetup. If you search for Meetup and you say UrBizEdge, let me see if that will help. If something will come up with that.
No, you can just type
if we type what?
Microsoft Data Analysis Meetup.
Microsoft Excel Learning. I don't want it to go take them to the wrong one. Oh, okay, perfect. Good. If you just type Meetup Microsoft Excel Learning, it's the first thing that will come up. So make sure you are part of the members, because what I'm going to do is, I'll come here, say I want to contact members, and I will now send that. I don't yet know what the exact step is. That's why I don't want to waste our time. We'll do it in-house, verify the steps. So I will now email you the steps so that you will take the step. And when you take the step, what will happen is that you will be able to have access to this. And when you have access to this, like I mentioned to us, there is a lot of, I will even list the benefits. So I'll find out what benefits they are retaining. Before, the benefit used to be, the major benefit used to be this E5 license. You know, look at it. It comes this $35 per month. That's not, the money is a lot more than $35. $35 is if you are paying annual, you are paying at a yearly rate. If you are paying monthly, I think it's $45 per month. So that's how much you'll be getting in terms of access, what of license. It comes with Power BI Pro, a whole lot of things attached to it. You can go and check E5 license, but I said they are changing it, so I don't know whether it's everything they want to remove or some they want to leave. And there are some other benefits that comes with it, which I don't want to say something that is not correct. So I will just dig into the whole stuff and tell you what you need to do and tell you what are the benefits. I think those are the two things, so that and I know once you do that, it will solve the problem of the chat, because everybody who is already part of this platform, they will be able to access the chat. And as you can see on my screen, there are some activities Microsoft will even support. So they have a link for sponsor. There are some activities that used to happen before now. This Lagos my M365 bootcamp, you'll be able to have access to it instantly, because you are no longer just an outsider anymore. It's as if you are an extension. You are not. You now have. It's not a direct link to Microsoft, but you are not part of Microsoft extended community. And when we say extended, not just our own now, not just this webinar we are doing, but every other webinars that are happening that you have interest in, you know, it allows you. Then Microsoft even gives you some getting started, some free community things, and let's just leave it as I will send you the details, so I don't go and say what is not completely correct or show you what I'm not supposed to show you. So just watch out for that email. The key thing you have to do is make sure you find your way here. That's the key thing. Be a member here, be part of the 2018 members. So let's say I give us today to do that. So by tomorrow, maybe I shoot out the communication. If you do not know the direct link, if you just go straight to Microsoft, to Google, and you type Meetup Microsoft Excel Learning, you will see it. You will see it as, in this case now, it's even the first that's coming up. So that's the other thing I wanted to point out. Maybe we'll be using this permanently for the Excel, because Microsoft actually wants us to use this, and they want to make it very robust for the entire learning community, because that's part of their own giving back to the community. Freebies and access to, will I call it like cross-learning, as you are learning something in Excel, and that's what brought you into that community. You'll be getting exposure to the other things too. If you are someone who is interested in Microsoft Finance platforms, yeah, you, when you are less busy, you just go to your own account and be checking for all the other communities that are there. Which one do you want to also be part of? Both geographically and platform wise. So thank you. So Temidayo, let me hand over back to you. Are there?
Okay. Okay. I think Mrs. hands are up. Messi. Hello, Messi.
Yes, please, I wanted to
Okay.
quickly ask a question. So I noticed that the when using the Inquire, the workbooks that were compared, they just had one sheet. So I want to know, can you use Inquire where the workbook has about 60 sheets or thereabout?
Oh, 60 sheets. Ifeanyi, that
Yeah.
question is for you.
Okay. No, like okay, if you remember the first time I tried to do the acquire before I moved everything to a different down sheet. It's where I did it was comparing the very first sheet on that one with the very first sheet of my second workbook. So when I tried that, just comparing the very first sheet. So instead of maybe you don't want to move your stuff, you could just do that right. Instead of copying and pasting the values or the details in that sheet, where you don't want to affect your formulas and stuff, you could just do that. Right click underneath the name of the tab and copy it or move it to a whole new sheet. Then when you are done, you move it back to your other sheet, which still protects the integrity and everything of the sheet. So I guess that's also a limitation.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can't compare more than one sheet.
So
Yeah, you can't compare. You can compare more than one sheet, but you can compare. You're basically comparing two sheets, but you can't compare a workbook that has multiple sheets. Instead, you move it to the very first, to be the very first tab in that sheet, and to be the very first tab in your second sheet. Because comparing the first tab of sheet one of book one with the very first tab of book two. So I guess you could either do that or you quickly copy it to a different workbook and do it, and then you move it back to its original workbook.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
okay. So how does that answer this one question so far? We're actually way behind time now. So I will share my screen to show you the upcoming events we're having very soon. We're having another event by 6 o'clock, which is Power BI. So I'm sharing my screen. So I hope everyone can see my screen, right? Hello?
Yes, you can see your screen.
Okay, so the next session we're having is by 6 o'clock. It's a Power BI section. It's our guest speaker is going to be Oluwatobi Yusuf. He's going to be talking about flow approval with attachments, a Power Automate tutorial. So Tobi Yusuf is actually a Power App guy. So we're taking on some very wonderful features in Power Automating using Power BI. So I think that was all for today. So everyone, thank you for attending today's section, and bye. Open no question again.
No other question.
Okay, thanks everyone for attending today's section, and bye everyone.
Right.
Bye.